Welcome to another Demarcation Media Mega Constructs review. Today we are looking at the Witcher set, Geralt's Griffin Hunt. How many of you guys forgot that there was even a Witcher set to begin with? Long story short, this intro had already been filmed, I had the unboxing, and then I accidentally deleted it like the genius that I am, so here we are. This was originally like $109, I believe, and then Amazon took it on a sale down to $67, and then I picked it up because I wanted to finally look at it. I felt like 100 was too much, and they even took it down as far as 48. Box looks pretty good, design-wise. We've got a little thing showing off the lights. We get to see pretty much everything that we need to see. There's a little bit of art around here. There is the Griffin up top. There's a picture of Geralt here, and then around the back, we've got just some more of the features of the set. The instructions are absolutely massive for like no reason. Here is a flood tank for comparison. Huge, absolutely huge. There is some cool stuff in here. We got some art, some more art, Gwent cards, which is pretty cool. Yeah, massive for like no reason. Don't really know why it's so big, but I guess that works. The build for this was done live, so I'll put the card up in the corner if you want to watch that. It's a pretty long build, though, I will warn you. If you want to see the whole thing, maybe watch it on like 2x speed or something. Alrighty, and there is the finished build. I gotta say, this was kind of rough. So I did this on stream, and it took me over 3 hours to put it all together. The Griffin went together fine. That was kind of interesting to see how that went together. This is where all the problems were, primarily the lighting system inside. There was also some pieces, well, I should just say one piece really, that this was supposed to be a 1x2 brick, and it is very much not. Looks like oatmeal that fell out of somebody's bowl and dried. So now there's kind of a gap right here where there's supposed to be a brick. That was a little bit weird. But yeah, my main problem was with the lighting system. The lighting system was really rough to put together. I went into it thinking that it was going to be easy, and I was very wrong. But we'll talk more about that in a minute. Let's take a look at the extras, because that is a massive pile of extras. As much as it's great to get extras, I feel like this is excessive. Like, this feels like I missed parts even more than usual. I know I always say that when I'm like, oh, this feels like I missed parts, but like, look at the sheer number of pieces here. This is absurd. Like, maybe genuinely I built something wrong, but I looked and looked and looked, and I just ended up with this many extras, and it's kind of absurd. Like, it really is absurd. We also get an extra one of these effect pieces, which is kind of cool. Yeah, that's just a lot of extras, like a lot, and it makes me really feel like I built something wrong. But like I said, I checked and I checked and I checked, and I couldn't find out where I did something wrong. I wanted to actually start with the Griffin instead of starting with the figure, although I will show you the figure real quick to do a size comparison. This Griffin is pretty huge. This is a cool build. This is really interesting, and I've actually seen a lot of people saying that they wished Mega had done the new Monsterverse sets that are coming out this similar way. I want to get my main complaint out of the way, and that's the fact that these joints, especially these ones right here, don't really have enough friction to hold up the weight of this, because the body especially is rather dense, and so it's just hard to get it standing upright. Like, the posing here is a little wonky. It's just a little too loose, and so like, if I want it, like, I don't even think I can get it in a rearing up pose at all. Like, at all, really at all. It's just there's not enough friction in these joints. The wings can pose all around. They did this really interesting effect where you have these like harder, it's a thin plastic like layer, which is kind of cool, and you can move it so you can pose the feathers, and the wings can be moved all around, and it looks really cool. But again, the joints are just such that it won't hold itself up. The tail can be articulated around, which is neat. The head is a full special piece, and then all this ruffling around the neck is one big rubber piece. Yeah, the mouth opens and shuts. It's really cool. Again, it's just you can't really pose it at all because it's so heavy that it's just gonna flop, which is really disappointing because I thought this would be great to like put up on display, whatever, like getting it ready to take off or flapping its wings, but all you can really do is have it come forward and use its little claws to do that. Like that's mainly the pose that you can get out of it just because of how loose the legs are. So design-wise, super cool. The build of it was really interesting, but those joints just aren't good enough. They're just not, and that makes this a bit disappointing to me. I'm sure I could try my like super glue to make the ball joint bigger thing, but it's very visible, so I don't really know if I would do that. Could have been better. I mean, you could get yourself a flight stand, maybe put it on right here because there's studs here, and then you could pose it flying. That would look really cool. That would be so cool. That would be an amazing way to have this thing posed and on display. But you're not going to get any posing without extra help. I mean, yeah, he just droops. I honestly would have almost preferred the Griffin not be in the set, and I'll talk more about that later. But yeah, as it is, the joints just kind of mess it up a bit. The real reason most of us are probably going to be getting this set is for the Geralt figure, and Mega did overall a really good job. The big complaint that I had right off the bat was that the straps on the chest were shown printed like a light tan color, and in reality it looked like they weren't printed at all. They are printed, it's just a very, very low contrast, like almost purplish brown. It does not continue around the back though. Those straps there are completely unpainted. However, we do have a lot of the chainmail print. We've got the printed wolf head, which is pretty awesome. And even on the top, you can see there's like a strap going over his chainmail that's not on the other side. That's pretty cool. And then he's got the printed like wraps on his forearms, which is pretty slick as well. My only two real complaints with this figure is this leg is incredibly loose, and also this hand doesn't love to hold things like solidly. Other than that, I think this figure looks great. I think the only place that maybe they could have improved, and this is going to sound weird, but in the groin piece there, I think maybe some cloth wrinkles or something, that would have been cool. But the head looks fantastic. As long as the print doesn't rub, then this is pretty much a perfect head. He comes with a little magic flame piece, and then he's got this sword, which has a ridiculous handle. It looks more like a cane. Originally, I very much disliked this sword. It's grown on me a little bit, but I do think that the blade is too short in proportion to the handle, and I almost want to like chop it right here, and that would make it look better. There are some like runes or whatever. I prefer his other sword. This is like a kind of a great sword looking weapon. The blade is much wider. I still feel like it needs to be longer, but this is a much more agreeable sword in my opinion. It's got runes on one side. It's a little thick and chubby looking, but I think it works, and there are no runes on the other side. And you can see kind of the sword bobbles in the hand a little bit. Might need to try to do something about it. But overall, I feel like this figure would not have been amiss as a standalone Black Series figure. He's pretty darn good looking. It's just I would have preferred to see a little bit more out of the swords. Like the blades just need to be like that much longer, and it would have been perfect. So now we come to the main bulk of the set, which is this inn. And right away, I have a couple issues with it. First of all, it's set up to be a display piece, purely a display piece. It does not fit into anything else because we've got this big, thick, raised stand, and then this sign here, and then we also have this permanent magic effect, which you have the fire, you stand him here, and he's doing like this blast of magic, which Witcher fans can tell me what that is because I don't know much about The Witcher. Design-wise, the outside of it looks really nice. The bricks down here are speckled, the bricks up here are not. I know there was a lot of people saying that they wished all of the bricks were marbled or speckled, but I think at the end of the day, it doesn't look too bad. We get these nice little pine trees, we get a little swinging sign with words that I cannot read on it. Around the side, we've got some windows. We can rotate it around the other side as well. We have I guess that's a bounty board for Geralt to go and, I don't know, get his pay. And then up front, there's some pretty nice detail work, actually. In the furnace area, we have an anvil here, which is a nice design, although it tends to want to fall apart. And then there's like a little barrel hidden in that corner nook. And then there's a grindstone over there. And you can see the magic effect a little bit better. I don't know what spell that's supposed to be or anything. I just know he looks like he's blasting fire. Flipping it all the way around, I love the texturing on the roof. It looks great. Flipping it all the way around, we get to see the interior and we get to see the lighting unit. And with the Xbox 360 set, the lights are all battery. You just press the button and it goes. This has to be plugged into USB, which I found incredibly disappointing because this is so short that I'm not going to be able to display this well with the lights on. I was sad about that. This is essentially a phone charger cord, by the way. Inside, we've got some print work on the top. We've got some potions there. We've got what looks kind of like a quilt over here in the corner, which is interesting. And then the main room has a map up in the top as well as like a skull. There's like a deer skull up there, which is kind of interesting. And then we go down to here, and this part has, I don't remember what that game is called, but it's like the cards for the game that they play. There's four of them. There's very interesting colors here, like that pink especially is very interesting to me. But that's mostly it for the interior. It's a rather small interior, all things considered. I do think it looks really nice. You know, we can have Geralt over here in front of the fire. He can go through here. It's a little cramped in here, but you can have him, you can have him move around. There's space for him to move around, and I think that's pretty good. Like, I'm happy with the structure overall. There's a lot of wasted space up here. Like, there's no floor. You can't really have him up there. There also is a space for you to place a sword above the mantle, although probably what I will be doing is put this sword above the mantle and then let him have the big one, the nicer looking one. So structure-wise, not bad. There are just some weird things, and I guess we should probably look at how the light actually works. Yeah, we probably should. This is a review. I should probably show that off. So I have my computer back over behind this, and this is plugged into my computer because that's really all you can do is plug it into a computer, or if you happen to have a USB power bank. But we've got some torches going up front, which is kind of cool. The magic effect down here flickers, and you can even see a little bit of light coming through the furnace or like the blacksmith area in the front. And there's two modes. You have the flickering mode, and if you press the sign, it switches it to just constant burn mode or off. I feel like the flickering is kind of the best. And then if we flip it around here, you can see there's the fire and two more torches, which is kind of cool. The fire is kind of flashing, which is a little weird. But it's not a good. It's just not good. I don't like this lighting. I don't like it. It's not worth the extra money because it's just so hard to use. Like, yeah, it looks cool, but the uses and the turning it on and off and the building it was just not fun. I feel like I've said a lot of fairly negative things about this set, and basically at the end of the day, this is a collector's set. And it is one that if you find it fun to modify sets, this has a ton of great pieces. The structure is great. The Griffin is also really cool, needs the joints tightened. The Witcher figure, Geralt himself, looks great. The lighting is terrible. I wish that was not part of the build, and I wish that this was not like it made to look like a one-off display set. The price for this retail is $109 United States. That's USD. Don't think that's worth it. I got this for $60 like 64, 67 on Amazon. That feels a lot better. For me personally, the building is what interested me, and Geralt himself, the Griffin, did not hold that much interest for me. While it's cool, it also still doesn't hold the most interest for me. So I feel like I was mostly paying for this, and I would have really preferred a bigger structure over a Griffin. Like a couple more figures, a bigger structure, no Griffin. That would have been perfect. If I were to rate this set, I would give it like a 6 or 7 out of 10. It's just weird. It's one-off. Mega didn't market it very well, or Mattel didn't market it very well. I don't know. And it does not feel like this is one that we're going to see more of in the Witcher line. I hope I'm wrong, just because having another line would be good. But we do have the Geralt figure, and I would say that makes the set at least worth paying attention to. If it's still available on Amazon for the cheaper price, I will put the link in the description and in the pinned comment. You can check that out. I would recommend it, but I would also recommend it more as like a parts pack with Geralt than I would recommend it as like a set as a whole, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of my end thoughts there. Cool, needs work. Geralt is a really good figure. That sums it up. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.